Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to read a post sent to me from one of my Patreon subscribers. It's titled, "A Girl's Perspective. Oh no, I've been dating a self-proclaimed nice guy. Felt so gross when I got home I had to take a shower." This is a long one, but I promise it's worth it. The thing is, as a woman, you really want to believe there are genuinely caring, thoughtful men out there. So, when a man I didn't know friended me on Facebook, who also works in entertainment, and then offered to help me on a project, just posting a recommendation request to his friends, in addition to sending me encouraging DMs and finally asking me to dinner, since we live in the same town, I was really blown away. I just moved here, I'm dealing with a bad injury, and definitely could use some real support. I met up with him, and he took me indoor skydiving, as well as to a nice restaurant. Red flag 1. He tried to cancel the restaurant after they said that they had a 20-minute wait, and offered to get takeout and bring me back to his place for movies. I was like, dude, I just met you, let's remain in public, and since you asked me to dinner originally, let's just do that. We go out to dinner, which I thought was a bit chintzy, a touristy part of town, but also charming, since what man takes a woman out to dinner anymore? I'll admit, we work in the same industry, so I was also hoping he would view me as a colleague as much as a date. And honestly, I was like, is this a date? It felt like a date, but again, I had just met him. I thanked him at the end, and kissed him on the cheek. I'll admit, I felt pressured into making it a date, and he insisted that wasn't his original plan. I really didn't know what else to make of those activities on a Saturday night, and he kept complimenting my looks, which I was like, sure, what the hell, let's just go for it and have fun. It's been a couple of weeks. He insists on trying to see me daily, which is kind of cute, but maybe alarming. In addition, after he offered to go to the store for me, he texted me, I better get some cuddles. Our second date was at his house, where he wanted to hold hands. The third was him taking me to a terrible movie, where he touched my leg or held my hand after offering to pay for everything the entire time. Fifth date was him coming over under the pretense of taking care of me, which I desperately needed, dealing with a severe concussion. I finally had to pull away from the constant cuddling, which I felt obliged to participate in, since he had gone to the great lengths of simply bringing over some things I asked him to get me from the store. I paid him back immediately. I noticed immediately his wounded bird rescuer dynamic, in addition to recognizing that he was doing nothing, yet again, to actually help me feel better of his own accord, or really show genuine care or concern, aside from verbally telling me he's there for me. In the mix of this, I was trying to buy a car. He insisted on offering to help, and touted his skills as a mechanic. I was super grateful, since I have a history of buying total lemons. So grateful, I bought him a hefty, expensive breakfast. He's a bit overweight. I then realized, while he accompanied me to buy the car, telling me the whole time how experienced he is with this process, he never once actually did a single thing to help me, and I ended up with another lemon that's actually a bit of a death trap. Seriously dangerous to drive down the highway, as well as without a title. Thanks, nice guy, how nice of you. He asked me to dinner tonight at his place, after texting me pictures of himself all day. I went, grateful someone offered to buy me dinner, but once again wary of strings attached. He almost immediately wanted to go cuddle in his bed. I'm like, dude, I just met you, stop. Lots of kissing, snuggling, telling me how special I am. Once again, we don't know each other that well, so this level of intimacy just feels absurd. Finally, I think he realizes I'm not going to fuck him. I'm 0% feeling it. He brings up, I'm a nice guy. Nice guys always finish last. Assholes are the ones that end up with the girls. I died. The subreddit Nice Guys is one of the most redeeming, validating sites I've ever stumbled upon. I was like, what do you mean finish? Is there a race that you're running? Isn't being nice the point, the end in itself? I told him, look dude, you're not that nice. For one thing, if you're buying me things with the hope of the expectation that you can buy me, it's actually a huge turn-off. Being nice all the time is actually cowardly. Just be yourself, be genuine. Maybe women like assholes because even if they're assholes, they're being authentic about it. I think he gets his self-esteem from being the hero, when in reality, he doesn't bring much to the table other than treating a woman to a nice evening. I had higher hopes for him. I really did. However, he vapes. overeats, and is obsessed with Disney, none of which are attractive qualities in a man, in addition to having terrible style. I was fully willing to overlook all of these things until the nice guy, poor me pity party came out. No, I don't resent them. I just let it go. I'm a different kind of guy. I'm like, no dude, you're like every other nice guy. Alexa, weird LED wall tiles, elaborate media viewing setup and all. I could tell immediately that he wanted sex from me to prove something, to boost his ego, which is extremely unattractive. I stood up to leave, and he pulled me in for another kiss, which I pulled away from. I don't like being pulled in for a validation, everything's okay, right, kiss with someone I barely know. Plus he was using actual force, which was weird. Maybe something I wouldn't have realized if I hadn't been pulling back. Too long, didn't read? I feel super gross since I realized I was going out with a nice guy who proudly admitted this to me while I was limiting physical intimacy. So there you go. As you can imagine, I have many things that I want to talk about this post. We'll take a short break and then we'll get into the analysis. Let me start by saying that this woman is completely disconnected from reality. How she thinks that she's any kind of a victim in this situation is beyond me. She talks a lot about nice guys, and for those of you who are not aware of what this term means in a specific sort of internet lingo, it refers to a beta male strategy where a guy is manipulating a woman by pretending to be friendly when all he really wants to do is have sex with her. Now, I don't have a problem with any discussion about this nice guys phenomenon. I think it's a conversation worth happening because there are a bunch of manipulative guys out there who fake friendship and then get all pissy and angry when a woman denies them sex. However, the perspective that she has on this situation is completely off. This guy wasn't being manipulative at all, and she wasn't a victim of anything. I think it's a good idea for me to spend some time talking about why it's important to avoid the whole nice guy persona, but I'll save that discussion for the end. Let's start by talking about the story in front of us. The first thing that I want to address is how ridiculous her claims are that this guy was in any way being manipulative. It's clear to me from how he conducted himself through all of these dates that he was never interested in a friendship. I think he made his intentions clear the whole time. He was interested in a romantic/sexual relationship with her. He asks her to dinner on a Saturday night. Clear intentions. He compliments her looks. Clear intentions. He sends texts about cuddling. There's hand-holding, there's leg-touching, there's kissing, there's snuggling. Really clear intentions. He wasn't sending any mixed signals at all. It's obvious to anyone looking onto this situation that he wanted to date her. The real reason that this whole situation went sour is because she led him on. He had every reason to expect, based on her behavior, that she was interested in beginning a romantic relationship with him. She kissed him after dates. She held his hand through movies. They spent time together cuddling. If she wasn't interested in pursuing a romantic relationship with him, then the onus was on her to make sure that she had stated those intentions. If she doesn't want him to get the wrong impression, then stop all the physical contact. Stop letting him pay for meals. Stop accepting favors from him. I find it extraordinary and a little bit sad that this woman has the ability to feel like she's somehow been victimized, even after she's gone on 6 or 7 dates with this guy. I also really feel sorry for this guy. Not only did she lead him on and waste his time, but now at the end of it, she's painting it as if he's done something wrong. What I find especially fascinating is this dichotomy that she seems to have between guys who are nice to her and guys who want to have sex with her, as if it's completely unimaginable that those two things could coexist within the same person. Men like to have sex. Men also enjoy being nice. The fact that a man wants to have sex with you doesn't automatically mean that all of the nice parts of their personality are fake. I think the fact that this woman can't reconcile the idea of a man being nice to her and it not being connected to his sexual desire actually says a lot more about her psychology than it does about the man in the story. If I was this guy, I wouldn't be too bothered about losing this woman as a potential romantic partner. When you see how quickly she moved into victimhood, well, that's a big red flag. I think it's also really concerning when she says things like she felt pressured or she felt obligated. There is no sense that she takes any responsibility for the physical intimacy that the two of them shared. And when you've got a woman with this kind of mindset, you need to be extremely wary of potential false rape allegations. Even if it was consensual at the time, you have no idea how she's going to reinterpret the event later. She may say that she was forced into it. Now, while I'm mostly concerned for the man in this story because I believe that he's the innocent victim in this situation, I do also feel sorry for the woman. I have compassion for anybody who's disconnected from reality, because that disconnection is going to create so much suffering in their life. If I had to make a prediction for what her future life is going to look like, I would predict that she's going to end up with some asshole guy who treats her really badly, but who she thinks is just being authentic. That, or she'll just stay single forever and comfortably settle into a victim mentality where any guy who's nice to her, she automatically interprets them as being manipulative. Of course, in either one of these eventualities, she really only has herself to blame, but I still feel sorry for her. My hope is that she learns to take responsibility, she drops her sense of entitlement, and she wakes up to reality. That way, she can have a real relationship with a man, and both of their lives will be enriched. So there's the story. Now, before I finish this video, I want to spend some time talking about nice guys, why it's a problem, and how to avoid that. I'll take a short break, and then we'll get into it. Okay, so you're a nice guy. You enjoy making people feel good, and you never want to create harm or suffering. That's a good thing. I have seen some people in the red pill community give advice to men saying that they should kill the nice guy within, just go full dark triad and become assholes. I think that advice is terrible, and I think the people who go down that path are cowards. If you're a nice guy, be a nice guy. It's a great thing. The problem is that nice guys don't tend to get the girls, at least until after they've hit the wall. The reason for this is trust. There are a bunch of guys out there who are faking being nice just because they want to sleep with women, and as a consequence, women have become extremely wary. This really sucks for you if you're a genuinely nice person, because now you're lumped in with all of the fakers and judged like you're some kind of creep. Here's the thing. If she's a beautiful woman, she knows you want to sleep with her. She knows. Every guy wants to sleep with her. While the asshole dude might treat her like shit, he's ultimately upfront and authentic about his intentions. She feels safe with him because she knows where he stands. You might think that you're being some kind of a gentleman by not bringing up the fact that you want to sleep with her. You might think that it's not really appropriate conversation to have in the early stages of a courtship. Now, back in the day, you would have been right. It wouldn't have been appropriate. But the culture has shifted, and you need to shift too. If she knows that you want to sleep with her, but you don't say anything about it and you don't make your intentions clear, she's going to get suspicious. The best thing that you can do is to become comfortable with your own sexuality. Make peace with your sexual desires. Do the hard emotional work and remove all of the lingering feelings of shame that you have connected to your sexuality. That way, you can be completely honest with the woman that you're interacting with. Every situation is different, so you need to take the context into account, but as a general rule, make sure she knows where you're coming from. You want to make it clear that you're enjoying the process of getting to know her personality, but that it is your ultimate goal to become sexual with her. First, you just want to know more about her though, to make sure that she's a good person and that she meets your standards for a sexual partner. You don't need to just blurt out that you want to have sex with her. You can get the message across in a number of ways. You can do this by flirting, some playful touching, some sexually suggestive humor, and if the situation calls for it, like the context is right, by just stating it out loud. Once you've made your sexual intentions clear, then you can go back to being authentic, to being a nice guy, because you've removed any doubt she has about what you want. You've made your intentions clear, and you're both on the same page. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment below letting us know what you thought about the story. Was he in the right? Was she in the right? What could have been done to avoid it? Anything and everything. I'm excited to hear. I think that this post was a really good find. I really enjoyed reading it, and I'm very grateful to my subscriber on Patreon who sent it to me. If you find a story or an article or something that you'd like me to comment on to make a video, the best way you can contact me is through my Patreon page. I have a huge amount of extras there for people who've subscribed, so I encourage you to check it out. There's a link in the description box below. It's also just a great way to support the creator. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again next time.